I knew that I need to, go for the, I really need to go for MBA. So I started, I think, back in August itself when the application started. For GMAT, I think the mock portal that Top One has was really helpful. So I used to feel very anxious while taking mocks. So I had taken up all the section tests, all the topic tests, all the mocks, and ultimately I was able to not feel that stress on the exam day and be able to score well. I'm really thankful to the top 1% team for this.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Superb. Hi. Wonderful to be meeting you first time. And really, when my team shared this, I think a couple of days back only. So, how does it feel that you don't have to pay the fee there?
I feel
Uh,
immensely grateful to be receiving a scholarship, and I'm really thankful to the top 1% team for this.
all right. So, just let me know your GMAT journey first, quickly, and then we'll talk about. And Audrey can also chip in while talking to you regarding this. So, yeah, what
Definitely.
was it like for you?
So I had prepared for GMAT 2 years back. I appeared for GMAT in July 24. I had taken the self-paced course in Jan 24, and I prepared for 6 months while I was in college in my last semester because I was already placed. So I had a couple of months in hand to prepare for it, and ultimately, I was able to score 675 on the Focus Edition, which is 96 percentile. And after having a work ex of around 1.5 years, I felt that I should go for an MBA.
Earlier, were you thinking about YLP that ISB has now stopped? I mean, is that why you prepared in college, or YL was on your mind, like very clearly?
So I had actually applied for YLP at that time, but I did not
Okay,
get it at that time. But I reapplied to their new program, which is PGPYL, and
right, right. So, what do you think made the difference this time?
I think I worked really hard on my essays. So I spent around 1.5 months working on the essays, taking feedbacks, reworking until the story makes sense. It aligns with what I want to do, and I think that made a really big difference for me.
It makes a huge difference, trust me, because when it is aligned right from the first word you say ever to them, to the interview,
Yeah.
if everything seems seamless and authentic and aligned, I think it makes a huge, huge difference. So, wanted to just really ask you a couple of things. When you say when we start with applications, is there anything that you were skeptical about this time because you did not get through last time that, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this right, I have to do this right about the applications I'm asking? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So the questions were pretty similar to the
Mhm.
previous application, and I had to create a stronger story. However, not denying anything that I had previously said in my
Right.
application. So I think that after having 1.5 years of work experience, that gave me the clarity, and I was able to better articulate it. And
Mhm.
yeah, that I think was.
Audrey, what was the standout feature of our application? If you could also chip in.
Hi, I so Arshita, why don't you talk us through, how your process was. Arshita, did I work with you on your applications, or I think you introspected on your while application yourself, I believe, right?
Yes, yes,
So why don't you tell us about how their journey was? I think a lot of students here. So why don't you talk them through the scholarship process? Students are so worried. I have an average profile. How much would the GMAT score compensate for it? Why don't you, talk them through it? Because you had a GMAT score and maybe it didn't work out for you first time, and this time it has. So what did you do differently? What has changed?
So I think a lot of times, we don't spend a lot of time on the application itself. I knew that I need to, go for the I really need to go for MBA. So I started, I think, back in August itself when the application started, working on my essays. And I think reaching out to my seniors, taking their feedback, because I think there are a lot of alums from ISB itself who, they are very free to reach out to. So I used to reach out to them, take feedback, rework on my essays. So that I think made the difference for me in the applications. For the scholarship part, so there isn't any separate application for the
Right.
scholarship. They shortlist you based on your profile, based on your interviews, your overall experience. I don't think it's separate. It's like if you have a very good high percentile, you are shortlisted for a scholarship. Since I did not have a very
Right. Right. This is true for YL, by the way. This is not true for the regular ISB PGP. So, wanted to know how would you sum up your experience at top 1% here for your GMAT? I mean, in general, and what would be your advice for people who are preparing right now? Yeah.
For GMAT, I think the mock portal that Top One has was really helpful. So I used to feel very anxious while taking mocks. So I had taken up all the sectional tests, all the topic tests, all the mocks, and ultimately I was able to not feel that stress on the exam day and be able to score well.
Right. And anything else you would like to add to people as words of advice now that, and there will be many people from college or who are younger also in your pool. Anything you would like to tell them that, this is what you should do, should not do? Let me know, please.
Yes, sir, definitely. So, one thing that I specifically think that worked for me is that I used to be very consistent with practice. Even though I had my final year sem and exams in between, but I used to make sure that if not the every day, but every weekend, I used to prepare for be in touch with the syllabus. And I think also taking mocks every every weekend, it really helps. So you don't have to wait for the preparation to end. It's not going to end even before one day before your exam. So you need to take mocks consistently. Even though you're scoring bad, you need to make sure which mistakes you're doing and analyze the mocks, make sure that you're not repeating those mistakes. So I think that is something that
सुपर टू
worked
नो.
for me.
एंड सब लोग बोर हो जाते हैं वर्ड कंसिस्टेंसी सुन के हर एक से यही वर्ड, बट आप सबके लिए एक ही चीज है, सभी लोग जो सुन रहे हैं, इट रियली 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 पेज ऑफ टू बी कंसिस्टेंट. वी डोंट टेल पीपल इन एडवांस कि ये बोल देना मेरी कभी बात भी नहीं हुई इन दोनों से, बट दे ऑलवेज से 10,000 इंटरव्यूज भी ले लो, consistency matters. So superb to really interact with you, Arshita. Keep in touch. And this was something that very rarely does while give 100% scholarships. We had someone last year also, but this is great to hear. And everyone, please spend that much time on your essays and applications as well, not just your GMAT. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. Thank you, and we'll continue this conversation soon. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.